On Twitter, I'm Evangelist, which really fits my title. Pretty awesome. Or on app.net, mattw, or matt@yottaa.com is my email address. So you can reach me anytime, or you can come by our office. That's fine too. We can squeeze you in there. So this talk is going to be two main things. We're going to cover two main topics. First off, there's that empirical study of correlations. You know, how does content and search engine rankings match up, or content and user experience, or performance and engagement? How do all those things mesh together? And that's really what we're really going to be focusing on most of the time in this. I think I've got about 30 minutes. And then we'll look at some best practices, and you know, what are some things that you can do to understand how your site is performing today. What can you do to optimize that site? And you know, what are some things you should be looking for when you monitor your site? Now, the samples or the screenshots I give in that second part are actually from our product, but they really apply to most other products that are out there. So there's nothing really special about what Yotta's doing on that second piece. Okay, so this study. We've basically collected a whole bunch of data over the last few months. We looked at about 10,000 different websites. Some of them are our customers, and a lot of them are just other sites that we found that we thought would be interesting to look at. And then we measured them using our services. So Yottaa is in the business of making your websites faster. And in order to do that, we've got data centers around the world, about 20 or so, 26 or so data centers all over the place. We've got servers in those data centers that are trying to make your site faster and trying to replicate your content around the world, so a CDN. And in those data centers, we also have machines that are running different browsers. So Firefox and Chrome and IE and Safari. And you basically hand over your URL, and we're going to test your site from all these different locations around the world. Okay. So we plugged those 10,000 sites into that massive testing framework and came up with some user experience and site content numbers. And then we correlated that with other information you can find on the net from other sources, like search engine rank, social influence, number of index pages in the site, and engagement metrics. So, you know, of those two things that we're looking at, user experience and site content, the first one is user experience, front-end user experience. And when we look at front-end user experience, we're basically looking at four main metrics. The first is time to title, and then time to first paint, time to display, and time to interact. And here I'm looking at CNN as an example. And time to title means not much has happened yet. We're starting to download the site, and really all we have so far is the title showing up at the top of the browser or in the tab. Time to first paint is we first have the first little bits of stuff showing up on the browser. And so in this case, it's that red banner at the top of the CNN site. Next comes time to display at about 7.5 seconds. And this is where all the content from the HTML page is showing up in your browser, but the JavaScript hasn't had a chance to complete or render it. And then time to interact is that final thing, and that happened around 9 seconds on this page. So those are the four things that we're looking at, and time to interact is often one of the more important numbers in here. And time to interact is basically the length of time it took before a user can interact with the system, with the page. Yes?
Sorry, does scrolling count?
Scrolling does not count in the time to interact. Time to interact is when you can actually click in the text box. So scrolling is going to happen earlier than that. Time to display or right away.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.